for coming on with us today. We really appreciate this. It's really cool because I've had a chance to speak with John about Hostage Tape, and I'm really excited to get your take on it as well. So thank you very much for this.
No problem.
All right, so I heard from John about his Hostage Tape journey and his Hostage Tape experience. What, if you could kind of like get into it from your point of view, what were your maybe initial thoughts or the initial pain points when John started to say, hey, you know what, maybe taping my mouth shut is something I'm going to start doing?
I was like, oh, for it. No, he likes to talk, and I'm the quiet one in the relationship. And so I was thinking to myself, I'll get more sleep just because his mouth is taped.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I am a very light sleeper, so that's not really his fault. He has had a problem snoring. I have recorded him because guys will say I don't snore. And so I couldn't let him live in denial anymore. I have bad allergies, so my issue is I would cough a lot at night, but finally fall asleep, and then he would wake me up with the snoring. And so I went to the doctor, and he went to the doctor, so we could try to sleep in the same bed. He tried, I know he told you that medical equipment, it's kind of like a BPAP or a CPAP type machine. The machine kept me up more than he did. It was so loud. And then he tried those nose plugs, but they caused him a lot of pain, and so then he couldn't sleep. And it's, I mean, every couple knows this. When the other person can't sleep, you don't sleep either. It's just not going to happen. So when he told me about the hostage tape, in principle, I figured that it was a good shot because even when I fall asleep, if I fall asleep with my head back and my mouth opens, I'll wake myself up with a snore. I think just about anyone snores whose mouth is open. So having it closed physically, biologically, seemed to make a lot of sense. Then he put it on, and we had a good laugh because it does look unusual at first. I made sure he could breathe. I'm like, what if your nose is stopped up and you just don't breathe? But he had his first good night's sleep, and I slept through the night too.
That's so awesome. And I liked what you said about guys saying that they don't snore. I'm married, and my wife, when we first got married, she was like, your snoring is keeping me awake. And I was like, babe, I actually don't snore, so I don't know what it is. And I was just like, well, no one's ever told me that I've snored before. And my wife was like, no, you just do snore. Like, it's not really up for debate. And the recording thing as well. Like, I've listened to myself before, and then you're getting elbows in the back or pillow across your face, right?
She's kind.
Yeah. I never got kicked out of the bed, but yeah, I caught it after a few years, so that was good. But yeah, it's so crazy that what affects, I mean, John snoring also affects you, right? Because it's keeping you both up, and it's just so awesome that you were supportive of that. I know when I first kind of brought it up, I mean, there was some laughter at first where it was, what do you mean you're going to tape your mouth shut? But I think it just kind of speaks to you just saying like, hey, I want a good night's sleep, so let's try this.
Absolutely. Honestly, couples are going to have irritations, fights, etc. When you live with someone that long, for that many hours of the day and the year, especially if you're co-home. It's a lot easier to get along when everyone's had a good night's sleep.
Definitely. And is that something that you found since John started mouth taping? Is it just those early morning squabbles, or those early that first like hour when you get up, those kind of squabbles have gone down, I would say. I'm not going to say stopped, but
They've all gone down. I mean, getting home from work, we both work stressful jobs, and you kind of want to just relax or not watch every word you say because you're no longer in a professional environment. And I mean, you know, you've run out of patience by the time you both see each other. So even then, I mean, it's gotten a lot better going to bed. The conversations used to be, who's sleeping in the spare room tonight? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be me? Whoever goes to bed first gets to keep the bed, you know, or goes to sleep really first, and the other one's going to leave. You know, it's just a lot of drama that doesn't have to exist anymore.
That's so crazy. Yeah, I guess that's something I hadn't thought about, right? Like who falls asleep first or that sort of thing, but that's something I hadn't thought about. And I know for myself and my wife, it's that first hour. If I don't sleep well or if I'm snoring, that first hour, there can just be some pretty snippy comments back and forth because you're just exhausted, and you're kind of waiting for your body to like kick in and to be revitalized. But
well, the issue was he wouldn't snore when he was in light sleep. It was about 2 hours, 3 hours in when we both fallen asleep hard. And I cannot go back to sleep if I wake up.
Right.
So I got 3 hours of sleep. And my choices were to wake him up, kick him out, or go in another bed myself.
Right. That maybe that's something we should look into because my wife never falls back asleep either. So once she's woken up, she'll lie there for a few hours. So maybe that's something we'll need to look into because
it's a man-woman thing because it's our emotional states of aggravation after we've finally fallen asleep, being woken up, whereas guys are kind of like, what was that? All right, good night.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was also my fault that she got woken up, so I can definitely see her emotions. I can see her being a little upset, whereas for me, I'm just like, oh, whatever, like I put a pillow over my head or just roll over or something like that. But that's so awesome. How long has John been using Hostage Tape for?
A couple of months. I'm not honestly sure. No, and maybe it's not even been that long. Maybe 1 month.
1 month. That's crazy.
I can't quite remember.
Right. That's so crazy. And has his snoring? You said he snored a lot. Has it gone down like 100%? Is it just less?
Or I've not heard him snore a single time.
Crazy. That's so crazy. And do you tell people this? Do people notice a change in you guys, or whether it's like at work, do they notice that you have more energy, that sort of stuff? Do you tell people about Hostage Tape?
I mean, so the name elicits snickers. It catches people's attention, that's for sure. Every so often with my coworkers are talking, and usually, because my profession is predominantly women, so they'll say their husbands are the snorers. I'll mention the tape. I tell them that I just have to check it out for themselves, because again, it sounds unusual. It almost sounds like it would be restricting. Like I said, maybe someone wouldn't be able to breathe at night. So just explaining that it's permeable and that it's not going to stop them from being able to breathe. I'm not sure I've convinced them, but I do tell them to go check out the website.
Absolutely. Yeah, the name is so that you're held hostage by your sleep no more. That's kind of the idea. When you wake up and you've had a bad night's sleep, it almost feels like you're a hostage because you can't do anything. Right. Whether it's like the first 3 hours and then after work or in the evenings, it's just a crash, which then leads to drinking coffee or something like that in the afternoon, which then affects your sleep even that much more. It's just such a vicious cycle. So the name is just to kind of take back control. But there are definitely those snickers. I've heard those for sure myself. But that's pretty cool. That's cool. If have you ever tried it? Have you ever thrown some on? I know you said you only snore maybe like a couple times, but have you tried
I
it?
only snore if my mouth falls open because I'm in a weird sleeping position, which
Right.
rarely happens. When I say rarely, 25 times in my life.
Right. Yeah.
But the moment I snore, like the moment a snore comes through my mouth, I'm immediately woken. I don't
Right.
sleep and snore. As I said, I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah. So once you hear it, once something's different, then it's instantly awake.
It's almost the vibrations, they wake me up.
Right. Very cool. If
So
I
no,
had to
I haven't tried it.
if I had to tell you that you had to go back, mouth tape doesn't exist, Hostage tape doesn't exist, you are stuck with John's snoring for the next 5 years, what are your initial thoughts?
Separate bedrooms. There's no option. In order to put me to sleep through that much noise, it would be dangerous.
Dangerous for you or for John?
For me, the medicine that would be required, that'd be very dangerous. I mean, because I can hear him when he snores through the closed door, the hallway, and like 2 rooms over.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, that's good that it does exist. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. So that's good. For when I spoke to John, he talks about all the benefits, how he feels throughout the day. What have you noticed? Because obviously you're sleeping throughout the full night now because John is no longer snoring. So what have you noticed, whether it's in the mornings for yourself or afternoon, evenings? How have you noticed your energy level changing?
I'm actually getting up about 45 minutes earlier every day, which is nice. And it's also nice because for the first time in our marriage, which is about to be 7 years, John is telling me he's had a full night's sleep. I think he mentioned this in his interview that he woke up in the middle of the night every single night. He would get up and eat, drink, walk around. Sometimes that in and of itself would wake me up. When we first were married, he might have gotten up and down out of the bed 3 to 4 times a night. And so there was 3 to 4 times I was being awoken. Because like I said, I sleep late and I cannot go back to sleep once I'm awake. So I might start to drift off, but it was like another cycle for him to get up. And so it was just not working. So yeah, I have a lot more energy. I've been exercising more, actually. My very good girlfriend, noticed it this past weekend. So that's nice. It's just nice to have a complete night's sleep where I didn't wake up. You didn't even mention waking up and going to the restroom. That's another thing. When you're woken up, you might not have needed to go, like your body didn't tell you had to go. But now you're awake, so now you feel thirsty and you have to go to the restroom, and now maybe I'm hungry. Like it just opens up a chain of events that interrupts sleep.
Definitely. Absolutely.
So I've gotten a watch where I can monitor, O2 levels, stress levels, and sleep. And so it's nice to see my sleep cycle with no green because that's the awake time.
That's really cool. I found it fascinating speaking to people who monitor it on their watches, or they'll use an Aura ring as well, different apps that'll track it. And it's really fascinating then, because then it's not this is how I feel. It's like, hey, here's the proof that my sleep is working. My sleep is just so much better. And it's like, if you don't believe me, just watch what it like. Look at the results. Like it's there. It's not lying. So that's really cool. That's awesome. I like that you put in the exercise part of it as well, because what I found is a good night's sleep. It's the snowball that starts the avalanche, and just your health, everything that comes after that. It all starts with a good night's sleep, whether it's
100%.
Getting up earlier, having more energy at work, starting to exercise, right? All these different little sleep hacks, eating healthier. Everything just kind of starts to stem from that one initial, okay, I'm rested. Now let's go do the things that I want to do.
Right. Well, I'm definitely one of those people that needs sleep, not a want. My entire emotional state is dependent upon my sleep, which then affects my willingness to meal prep or go exercise instead of come home and take a nap the moment I get home from work, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Just that leaving work, you know what, I feel pretty good. I'm going to go to the gym versus I'm exhausted. I need to come home and take a nap, right? Something like that. Or even the meal prep. Do you have energy to prep dinner, or is it, let's just get takeout tonight? Something like that.
Exactly. Or lunch, ordering lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting up earlier, so you can probably just take time, make that lunch, have it at work. Again, it all comes into that snowball effect where now you're eating a bit healthier. That leads to more energy. You're feeling better, so you can exercise. Absolutely.
So the hospital saves money.
There you go. Perfect. I love that. Well, Brandy, thank you very much for this. It was really cool talking to you. It's awesome being able to speak to John and then you as well. I just really want to say thank you so much for taking the time, and I really appreciate this. It's through testimonials like this that we'll be able to get the word out there and help as many people who are suffering from this problem as possible. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. 7 years, and now we've finally